He changed the world of technology, social media, and music forever. Everything he touched collapsed, only to rise from the rubble on ever more solid foundations. A man who turned his failures into real fortunes. Today, we talk about Sean Parker, founder of Napster, former president of Facebook, and pioneer of Spotify. He is one of the main figures of Silicon Valley. He was born in Herndon in 1979, in a small town in Virginia, in a period of great technological revolutions. These are the years of the Walkman, the years of video cassettes. The World Wide Web, as we know it today, does not yet exist. These are the years in which ARPANET, the precursor of the internet, begins to open up to private individuals thanks to the spread of the first PCs. Sean Parker is introduced to this new world by his father, who immediately recognizes its potential. At just 7 years old, he learns to program.
Years pass, and in the early 90s, Sean goes to high school, where he is not exactly the best. The young man likes to spend time in front of the computer, just as the World Wide Web is born. Thanks to his knowledge of programming, he realizes that he can break into other people's computers. He realizes that he is very good at it and thinks he can hack any site. So, he accesses the documents of companies all over the world, trying to learn everything he can. Then he contacts them, reporting problems anonymously, but the boy is only 15 years old. During that time, he won a state competition by programming one of the first web crawlers in history, making search engines much more efficient. He was even noticed by the CIA, which offered him a job as a programmer, but Sean Parker wasn't interested. He preferred to work in various technology startups, and in the meantime, he continued to be a hacker, raising the bar ever higher. Late at night, he enjoyed penetrating the systems of companies on the Fortune 500 list, the ranking of the 500 companies with the highest annual revenues. One night, he tried to break into a specific company, and the next day, he found himself with FBI agents. The company had discovered him and reported him. For the first time, Sean Parker lost. But this would be the beginning of his climb to success. For Sean Parker, the internet is a space, a meeting place, a set of streets, doors, and squares, a system where he sees the concrete space for a community to thrive. With the expansion of the network, forums, and blogs, everything is taking hold. In 1999, MSN is launched, which becomes the main way for young people to chat. At just 17, thanks to work in various startups, Sean has already earned $80,000, enough to face a collapse. He is still undecided about whether to attend college, but in the meantime, the web, like the universe, is expanding visibly. It is precisely during this period that he meets Sean Fanning in the chat. Fanning has created a server that allows his roommates to connect to share music. Sean Parker is impressed and asks himself, what if we applied this idea, if we shared music from all the PCs in the area, in the city, in the world? What if we made it a real company? And so, on July 1st, 1999, they released the beta version of the Napster software. The system is quite simple. You download the program, and you can download any song available on other users' servers. In 2000, the CD market reaches its all-time high, with almost 1 billion records sold in the United States. But Napster already has more than 30,000 users. By the end of 2000, Napster reaches the enormous figure of 20 million. By February 2001, Napster had 80 million registered users. CD sales had fallen by 25%, and Metallica's founder noticed. On Napster, he found his entire discography free, but what caught his eye was something much more serious. He downloaded the song I Disappear and discovered that what he was listening to was an unreleased mix, never officially released. Napster had also entered the producers' computers. Metallica took Sean and Sean to court, claiming that downloading from the platform was the equivalent of stealing. By agreement, Sean Parker must ban the users, but this sets off a chain reaction that continues to this day. The complaints increase, but the smartest minds at the record companies understand that Napster has good potential. They think it should not be destroyed, but rather used to improve the music industry. But every time a deal seemed possible, the phones stopped ringing and the lawyers started to get in touch. In the end, they find themselves in debt with $30 million in unpaid royalties. At this point, they have to throw in the towel. Napster declares bankruptcy. Sean Parker fails again. After the failure of Napster, Sean is left without ideas. He continues to live in Silicon Valley, but he can't go on for long. So he gets another idea, a meeting place. His first proposal is Plaxo, a database of contacts and information. He raises funding from Sequoia Capital, one of the largest venture capital firms in the world. The idea was simple. You download Plaxo and your data is automatically loaded. The company seems to be quite successful, but the startup life isn't really what Sean Parker is for, and he unexpectedly distances himself, so much so that he doesn't even show up at the office. The life of a rock star appeals to him more, but Silicon Valley isn't Hollywood, and his colleagues and investors soon tire of his attitude. Sean thinks there is a plan to take him out and will say, "I felt like I had lost faith in humanity. I felt like I could no longer trust anyone." He retires, and this also perceives him as a failure. But Plaxo, despite being a personal failure after the purchase by Comcast, is valued at $150 million. However, Sean is looking for a new group of collaborators. He still has the idea of connecting people in his head, but the problem is that Plaxo is not all that appealing. It is useful and functional, but it is only a tool, not a real meeting place. So, one day he goes to Stanford, and there he is captured by a site. On its page he reads a name that strikes him, the Facebook. The Facebook was spreading to all the universities, and not only, it was also expanding into the Ivy League. But what really strikes Sean is the interface of the Facebook, which is clean, and the servers seem to work well. Finally, Sean Parker has the idea of a meeting place, more than just a list of contacts. He writes an email to Facebook and organizes a dinner with two boys. In 2004, he meets a programmer named Mark Zuckerberg and an investor, Eduardo Saverin. Facebook already has 1 million members, mostly college students, but Sean sees huge potential for growth. The first step to get it off the ground is to change the name.
Drop the. Just Facebook. It's cleaner. Shit.
Zuckerberg is impressed by Sean's idea, while Eduardo remains more doubtful. Sean Parker suggests that Zuckerberg move to Palo Alto. Facebook is no longer just a college project, but a real company with solid investments. With an unconventional business idea, Sean Parker found his place, but Zuckerberg did the same. Sean says that Facebook must grow with better servers, without compromising the climb to success. Facebook must be beautiful, it must be cool, like an epidemic. In 2004, the new board was born, with Peter Thiel as an investor, Mark Zuckerberg as founder and CEO, while Sean Parker was president. In 1 year, Facebook went from 1 million to 5 million users' feedback. Facebook grows and Mark Zuckerberg becomes more and more famous, but Sean Parker betrays himself again. In August 2005, during a party, the police find cocaine in his house and he is arrested. The news goes viral, and as a result, Sean loses his role as president, but he still remains within the company. That's all for today. If you like this story next week, I'll continue with the story of Spotify. See you soon.